What's going on? It's your boy Adam. It is August 12th, whenever you're watching this. I'm not having a great day. I can't say that I've had much worse days than this, but do you ever just get to the point where if you have to call customer service for any company for any reason, you get this pit in your stomach or a knot in your stomach because you know that you're in for an absolute nightmare? I've had three in a row. I'll talk about it. I lost my shit on one of them. Started yelling at somebody. Lost my mind. The other two, I kept myself polite. Oh my God, I'm so worn out. It's so exhausting to have to deal with this. So I lost my shit on one, and the people, it wasn't their fault. Then I called a different company for a different reason, and I had two customer service agents yelling at me, and I was being polite. I never raised my voice. In fact, I was trying to, maybe it was karma coming back to me. You yell at one person and then you get karma coming back to you from a different angle. But I don't even know where to begin. Wow, I feel like I was run over by a steamroller today. I started this process on Saturday. My phone that I'm using right now, but it's on the way out. I just got a new one today. Just got a new phone. So, it's not all bad news. I'm not switching phone numbers because I've had such bad luck. And there's a few things that are on the precipice right now that I absolutely cannot lose my old phone number for any reason at all. So I'm thinking I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to keep the phone number that I have, but at the end of the day, these companies can't do the most basic things correctly without screwing up. And I'm terrified that if I try to port the phone number from one phone to the other, both phones will be bricked and useless, and I won't have any phone number in any way, shape, or form anymore. So I'm kind of like, the new one works. That's about the only thing that went right. There's good news on the precipice, but maybe not. And oh my goodness. I'm going to be on the edge of a nervous wreck for the next several days until the middle to end of next week because of it. I'm having a hard time. I'll get into the details. So it started on Friday afternoon. The phone that I'm using to record right now is bad. The battery started to puff up. So it's like I'm carrying around an Israeli pager that could explode at some point. Because that's not good when a battery does that. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to explode, no, but it means that you've got to replace your phone it's like a ticking time bomb at this point. And so I thought about a bunch of different options. And so I decided to try Verizon. T-Mobile's all screwed up. My account's all screwed up. I pay the bill every month automatically, so it's on time for my wireless internet that I have at the house. But they won't let me shop for a phone. They won't even let me browse when I log into my account and you go shop for a phone because you want to get a phone from them. it blocks me from being able to even see the phones. It comes up with, you got to call customer service, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, forget about it. I'm not going to do it. So Verizon was all that's left. AT&T's out for a lot of different reasons. And so I fill out, wow, I'm like so burned out from this whole thing. And not just the phone. It seems like everything's working out. So I'm going to have my faith that things will work out in the end. But I'm definitely being put through a pressure cooker again. And it's like nothing ever goes smooth. And so maybe God's testing me. And I did screw up today. I blew up at someone on the phone after I'd been put through hell. Jesus Calling for today, I decided to go read it. Here's a nice match for the day. Come to me when you are weak and weary. I'm weak and I'm weary. I'm done. I'm so freaking worn out. Part of the problem is today is Tuesday, the day after working 2 days at the bakery with Sunday off, and I am spent. I got my laundry done, and the clothes are drying right now, but the labor, I'm done. I got most of my digital bookkeeping chores, all that kind of stuff out of the way. Met with my client this morning. Everything pretty much smooth until customer service had to be called for 3 different companies. Well, 2. But I'm going to share the details because I just don't understand how much worse is it going to get? So anyway, back to this. Come to me when you are weak and weary. I'm so weary I can't even read the word weary. Rest snugly in my everlasting arms. I do not despise your weakness, my child. I showed weakness today. I've showed weakness over the last few days. I felt like everything was starting to go, and I was feeling good. And boy, has the weakness been popping out of me over the last few days. And I'm trying to put it aside, but actually your weakness draws me closer to you because weakness stirs up my compassion, my yearning to help. Accept yourself in your weariness, knowing that I understand how difficult your journey has been. Do not compare yourself with others who seem to skip along their life path with ease. Their journeys have been different than yours, and I have gifted them with abundant energy. I've gifted you with fragility, providing opportunities for your spirit to blossom in my presence. Accept this gift as a sacred treasure, delicate yet glowing with brilliant light. Rather than struggling to disguise or deny your weakness, allow me to bless you richly through it. And so my weakness has been worrying about tomorrow when you have enough to worry about today. That's what, in a nutshell, everything I'm about to share just becomes, it all boils back to that basic thing. If we're talking about, Matthew, I'm just going to read, therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, what you will drink, or about your body, or what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow, nor reap, nor store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father still feeds them. Are you not more valuable than they? Can any one of us, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And the answer is no. And this is the first Bible verse that I have to memorize. I'm reading it, but I could probably recite the New King James Version. I haven't for a while. That's why I'm reading it. But it's the number one Bible verse for me because it's always been my biggest problem in life is worrying about things that I have no control over. And you could even say that the stupidity that led me to go to federal prison started out as worrying and fear that turned into anger, and then I lashed out. And so, yeah, I got irritated with a customer service person today and lit into them. But it was fear over not getting what I need done that's, kicked that anger into motion. If you're going to go back, if anytime you get mad, try to think about what you were worried about that got you so worked up, and it will help you get over it. I don't even exactly know how. I just know that every time I get really mad about something, I can usually sit back and say, well, what are you afraid of? Why are you so mad? Like, what's the worrying that got you so worked up? And so I can explain that more as I go along. So this phone, as soon as I noticed that the phone was messed up, I started to worry. Oh crap, what happens if I don't have a phone? That can be a major obstacle. So I immediately started trying to fix the problem, like dropped what I was doing, and this is what my focus is for today. Do I get a used, unlocked phone and just swap the SIM card and go on with my day? That was one option. I looked at Amazon to see what they had. There were different things. The Obama phone that I have is not an option. That phone is about the most useless phone there is. In an emergency, maybe I could make it work. Like if I put the SIM card from this into that, it might work in order to allow me to make some phone calls or whatever. It is possible. I don't even want to try it right now. Like it's done. The whole thing's over with. But so sometime it had to be Friday night. So on Friday evening, I'm thinking it's around 8 o'clock at night, I start signing up for an account with Verizon. I pick out the phone. I go through the whole process, and it gets to where they're going to do a soft credit check, and I'm like, all right. I rolled my eyes. I'm like, yeah, they're not going to give me a phone. I'll have to do something else. And so I wasn't upset at this point. So of course the credit thing comes back. It says, we're sorry, there's a problem. You have to call this phone number. And I was about to just say, never mind. But I decide, what do I got to lose? I'll call the phone number, see what they say. And so the guy on the phone says that I have to provide my old mailing address, which I assumed was my Pennsylvania mailing address because everything on your credit report has this old address. And so your address doesn't match. That's why I can't put this through. And so I gave him the old address, and he goes, okay, that matches what I have, but I still can't put this through. I think I've already said this in a video before, so I'm just giving the recap of a story I've already shared, but there's more now. And, but this is how ridiculous this process was. It doesn't make any sense. And so he told me I have to go do the whole thing over. Start from zero. Clear your browser cache, whatever. Start from nothing. Start ordering a phone again. When you get to the address, your service address needs to be the address in Pennsylvania. I'm like, huh? Okay. It didn't make any sense. Like, why? So anyway, but I did it. I left the guy on the line while I did it and I was talking to him as I went. Get to the billing information screen. So I had to put the shipping address as my address here for the phone to come. And then when it came time, because you have to pay them something. It was like $80 to get your phone. It's like a free phone, but you have a contract for like 3 years or something, and then that way you're not paying a monthly payment on the phone. The whole thing's whatever. I just needed a phone. I'm just like, let me get through this, see if I can get through it. So I get through the whole process, and the guy goes on his end, he goes, oh, I can see your new application here. I see that the address now matches. And he goes, give me a second. He disappears for a minute or two, and then he comes back and he says, congratulations, you're approved. You'll be getting some information, etc., etc. Just look out for a tracking number. So I get an email. A few minutes later, welcome to Verizon, blah, blah, blah. To track your order, click here. I clicked on it. It takes me to this website to track, and at the very top in big bold letters, there is a problem with your order. Your order is on hold. Why? Again. So now it's telling me we need a copy of your driver's license, and you will have to scan the driver's license through our mobile website by clicking on this link. So I had to do it with the phone. And so every time I go to the website, I've had to do this before for other companies. I had to do it when I picked up my U-Haul to move here, and it wasn't because it was required. It was because the person behind the counter had a line of people waiting all the way outside the door, and she said that if you can scan your driver's license for me, I'm going to send everybody a link. If you can scan your driver's license front and back, then when you get to the counter, your paperwork's going to go much faster. And so I got the link, clicked it, did what she asked, scanned the license front and back, it went right through, and we were done. Sometimes those things can be extremely problematic. I've had, I would say 9 out of 10 times that I get asked, we need a copy of your driver's license, you got to scan it with your phone. 9 times out of 10 that goes wrong. Those systems are not, they're not up to speed. And they're leaving you on the hook for it when it goes wrong. And so I got to do something here. This phone is a mess. Let's see if that fixes it. All right, so so I go to do this with Verizon, and their website just keeps crapping out. Doesn't even give me the option to do it. It just keeps saying something went wrong. Something went wrong. Call this phone number. Call this phone number. You call the phone number. They make it impossible to talk to. Have you noticed that when you call customer service anymore, it's almost impossible to speak to a human being? Like it's gotten worse just in the last 6 months. Whenever I call one of these companies, they flat out just don't give you the option to talk to a person, and you have to go through this whole labyrinth of, most of the time I have to go to Google, type in the name of the company, how to speak to a person, and then somebody on Reddit or whatever puts up a process of exactly what to say, which buttons to hit, and so on and so forth to get an actual human being to get on the line. So after like an hour of trying to get someone on the line, I finally got someone at Verizon to take my call, a person. And I told them what's happening, that I got this message on my order saying that you need my driver's license, yet every time I go to do the thing, it doesn't work. And she goes, let me investigate this for you. Indian accents, all of it. She disappears for like 5 minutes. She comes back. Sir, let me investigate this for you. And she disappears again. So it's like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm just kind of like, I got my headphones on and I'm doing other stuff, just goofing around on the internet while I'm waiting, trying to keep my cool. And so she gets back to me. Well, I get an email. And all of a sudden this email says, your order has been approved. Click here to see the status or whatever. You will be receiving a tracking number. Click here to see your status, blah, blah, blah. And so the woman gets back on the line and she goes, okay, I was able to take care of that for you. You should be getting a tracking number, blah, blah, blah. But I click on the link that they send me. It takes me to the Verizon website, and I go and enter in my order number and all that. And it says, we can't find an order under that number. And so I'm just like, while I have you on hold, while I have you on the phone, can you verify that I have an order? Because I just tried to log into the link I just got in the email, and it's saying that I don't. And I'm like, I understand your computer systems can take a while to update or whatever. Like, can you just verify that that nothing is messed up? That's all I mean, I have other options I can explore if I can't get a phone from you guys. So it's like, I just want to know before I go to bed tonight, can I just get off the phone and walk away from this for now? And we talked for a couple minutes, and basically I was like, I felt like, all right, I'm just going to walk away, go to bed, see if the tracking number shows up tomorrow. And I just forgot about it. I was upset, but I wasn't like raging. Next day, I'm at the bakery, get an email. Your tracking number is here. It's being sent by FedEx. I'm like, oh God, FedEx. Like anytime you tell me something's coming FedEx, forget it. I'm gonna lose my mind, because FedEx is the worst shipping company. They'll take things to the wrong address. The tracking number will update saying we tried to deliver the thing while you were home and nobody came. They'll say we tried but nobody was home. We'll come back tomorrow. They'll lie. I've had the FedEx driver here where I live right now. It's like he just drove by and tossed the package out the window into the ditch by the side of the road and just left it there and drove away. I can't even get into like how many, I've had so many bad experiences with FedEx. Today was no exception, by the way, but so I didn't want to deal with that on Saturday. I came home from the bakery, and when I came home from the bakery, I got this letter in the mail saying that there's an account in Pennsylvania. It turns out it's the Pennsylvania Unemployment Fund, and I have $8,500 in this account. I have until August 23rd to claim it and have a check sent to me, or the money gets sent back to the state. I never knew this existed. I never knew this money was there. I never knew this account was there. I knew that I had an account with this because I was on unemployment back in like 2017, and somehow I still had the card. If I didn't have the plastic card in my box of random stuff to sort out, I would have been totally screwed. I would have lost all this money, and I still don't know if I'm getting the money, but that's further in the story today. So, FedEx, Sunday, I'm like, they're going to deliver it on Monday, and I'm not going to be here, and it says I have to sign for it. I'm like, so I decide to go, there's a button in the email, manage your delivery. Okay, go to the website. I've logged into the website. Manage delivery. There are no options to manage this delivery. Call customer service. Fuck. So all I wanted to do was try to either reschedule it for today when I'd be home, or ask if I can sign for it digitally or leave something on the door. Sometimes they let you do that. So the woman on the phone, so I call. First of all, I had to call 15 times. Because the robot, the AI robot, will not let you speak to a human being at all. At all. And so I don't know what I looked up what to do, and somebody on Reddit said, tell the robot something else. Just say the words something else. So after like the 16th, 17th phone call, and I'm fucking mad now. I'm livid. The robot picks up, and I'm like, something else, something else, something else. I just kept saying something else over and over again. All of a sudden, boom, it puts me through to a human being. Like that. 17 fucking times on the phone, If you just keep saying speak to a human, it won't listen to you. It won't do what you're telling it to do. It just keeps saying, well, we need this, we need that. Give us this, give us that. And then you give it everything it asks for, and then it says, sorry, there's nothing we can do, and it hangs up on you. 17 fucking times I had to call this number. I was keeping track. 17 fucking times. I'm doing this. It's like an hour to an hour and a half now of trying to get a hold of them, because I need the sign for this package, so they're not going to know what building it is. They're not going to know how to find me when they get to this property. If they're not letting me type it, there's no box where I can say delivery instructions. They're like, I have to call them. They're saying I have to call them, and yet they won't let me talk to anybody when I call them. And so this is the one I blew up at. I fucking lost my shit. They start, finally I get, somebody from India, of course, and I start out polite. And anyway, it went back and forth. Basically, I was told, so first of all, she took the delivery instructions that I gave her, which building it was, which door, how to get, go through the gate, second building, whatever, all the details. And that went smooth. And then she said, you can leave a note on the door authorizing permission to leave the package, sign it, tell the driver where you want the package left, and they'll do that. That would suffice when you not being there, having to sign for it. And so yesterday morning, I did that. And then I get an email halfway through the day saying, we tried to deliver your package, but you weren't home. And there's a photograph of my door with the note to FedEx right there and the little Post-it note from the driver below it. And on the website for FedEx, it said virtual signature allowed or something like it. Even said it. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I put the thing right on the door, and he put the little Post-it note under the thing, and he didn't drop off the package. And so I'm like, at this point, now I know what to say when I call them. And then when I called them, I lost my shit with them. And so, it sucks. But, so anyway, I'm like, what do I do? Like, I just assumed they would deliver it again today, which they did. But, and while I'm waiting for it all morning, I'm like looking out the window every 5 minutes, every time I hear a noise. I'm like, I don't want to miss this. And I'm afraid that the delivery guy is going to pull onto the property and then just kind of throw up his hands and not know where to go. And because they're just incompetent. And so I as soon as I saw the FedEx truck, I'm outside waving at him. I'm like, hey, this is where you go. The driver was just, like, you could tell this guy does not like working for FedEx, and he just he didn't care. He did not care at all. Pretty much just threw the box at me, hands me the thing, doesn't say a word, doesn't like, how you doing today? No friendliness at all. The guy was just, you could tell he was just pissed off must hate his job. And I can understand why. It's probably a terrible place to work. I know everybody that worked for UPS that I always knew hated it. And, this video is not for me to get into the reasons why, but they're terrible companies to work for. UPS drivers, at least the ones that I knew, were, they were going to get some sort of pension out of it. And so they're just riding the truck until their last day so that they can collect their pension or whatever they were in it for. But they were miserable, hated every minute of the job, like, absolutely, I just got to put up with this shit for however many more years and I can walk away and get a paycheck for the rest of my life, pension. And I don't even know if they do that anymore. But this, I've known people over the years that worked for them. Every one of them were miserable and hated it. And I mean, I'm talking like probably more than a dozen people that I've known over the years. So I get it. It's a shitty job. So the phone comes, and so, okay, cross FedEx off the list now. We're good. Problem solved. Now I got to go to Verizon. Back to Verizon. So the phone, setting up a new phone is usually pretty straightforward. That was pretty easy. I would say I got all the way to the end of the process. I'm keeping this phone that I'm talking to you on has a phone number. They gave me a new phone number from Verizon. I haven't switched or done any porting, and I'm not until next week. At least Wednesday. Maybe not even next week. And then I'm just going to have my friend take it off his account or whatever. We're going to figure it out. But I cannot, every single step of the process has been bad so far. So I can't, there's something else going on that I absolutely need my phone number and everything to be square, at least until I get to the finish line on this other thing. So I get to the end of the process with Verizon, with setting up the phone. The phone works. I can send and receive texts. I can get online. I can, it works. I got the paperwork, the whole thing. A nice bonus I noticed is I got a Galaxy S25, the newest phone they have. They don't even send you a charger with the phone anymore. You get a USB cable and that's it. Like, these phones are $1,000 if you bought the phone. Now I got it, this was one of the free ones that you get when you sign up. Pick out a free phone if you want one that's free and you won't have a monthly payment for the phone. So I got the free one. That was the S25, whatever. I may have even been able to get the S25 Ultra, but they're huge and they're better. But size-wise, I think I've been using this Google Pixel 5 for the last year and a half, and it's smaller than the phones I've had before, but I kind of like the fact that it's small. It fits in my pocket better. It mounts to my bicycle handlebars. It has advantages. So I was like, I'm going to keep the S25. I'm not going to get the giant one. And so, but you're getting $1,000 phone and they can't give you a charger anymore? Really? Like, they're that fucking cheap now? Like, you got to go buy a charger for your brand new phone now? Like, this whole like shrinkflation, where the Joe Biden economy, we're still in the Joe Biden economy. Trump hasn't done a fucking thing except make things even more expensive, except for eggs. Eggs got cheaper. Everything else costs more. All this bull. I don't know what you're talking about if you say that Trump is fixing the economy, because I haven't seen shit. I got eggs in the fridge because you can afford them now. That's it. All the other groceries are outrageous. I can't even get a whole cart of groceries for $100, when back in the day I could get a whole cartload for $50. So, no, we're not. Oh man, back in the day I could spend $100 on groceries and be living large. Now you spend $100 and you can barely eat for the week. So anyway, back to the phone. So I made the mistake. Well, I had to do it. I'm trying to set up an account online with Verizon so I can log in and see my bill. And I tried to do that last weekend, and that was a whole shit show because they wanted me to give them the phone number, and I don't have a phone number yet. And so I was just like, whatever. Just do it later. Do it later. Do it when you get the phone. Shouldn't be that hard. So, turns out they made it pretty much impossible when I already had a login on Verizon, and I kept going to the website to try and log in because I've got this new phone now. I have the phone number and I have everything, so I should be able to just log in and be able to see my account details and the bill, and I just wanted to confirm that this all works. That's it. So, first thing, I can't log in. Email address, password, and the security question, it tells me wrong password. I know it's not the wrong password, but whatever. I'm trying it again and again. Maybe I made a mistake, so I hit the thing to reset the password. It says you need a user ID. I don't have a user ID. When I set up the account, it was based on the email address. Anyway, I went through this whole thing, and none of it was working. None of it was working. And so I call them. Again, I call their phone number. Now, you can't speak to a human being unless you know the user ID on the account that doesn't have a user ID. And there was a bunch of other stuff, and they said you need this and that and the other thing. Go to the Verizon website, log in and get it, and call us back. And I'm like, I can't log in. I can't go get it. How do I talk to a fucking person? I just need... A human being could fix this problem in less than a minute of me telling them what the problem is. But now I'm like into an hour-long process of how do I get this account set up online. And so I ended up calling them with the new phone, going through all this crap, and the robot said, I'll send you a link to reset your account or whatever. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And so it sent me this link, and I basically clicked on this link to set up a brand new account as if I'd never set up an account with them before. And somehow it worked, and it let me into their website, and then I had to reconfirm my email address, and then I got another email from them saying my email had been changed to the same address it was last weekend when I originally set up the account. It just kept kicking me back and forth. Finally, it just let me in. That's the point. I had already bitched at them on Twitter, and I got a response back on Twitter, and I was direct messaging back and forth with an American, or at least someone with an American name. X, Twitter, is the best way to get a hold of customer service anymore, which is ridiculous. But it seems over and over again, T-Mobile now, Verizon, Google, there are other companies out there that if you have a problem, first you bitch at them publicly. You take whatever their newest post is in their feed and you complain. And then someone sends you a direct message saying they want to help you. And then you back and forth with the direct message from the company. And a lot of times they'll fix your problem that way. I guess they're using Twitter to replace online chat. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid, and it doesn't make any sense why all the companies are like, just reach out on Twitter now. But as a handy tip, that seems to be one of the best ways to deal with these companies. Anyway, it just... Oh, and I've got another one who just reached back to me, and but anyway, anyway, I'll probably get my situations resolved here. But so as far as I'm aware, I have a new phone with a valid account. It works. I can log in. I can see. I told the rep on Twitter that I fixed it myself. Thanks, but no thanks. And I just asked him, I said, when can I expect the first bill to be due? And he said something like 21 days after you activate the phone. I'm like, all right, peace out. I'll check again in a little bit, see if I can still log into the account. That's really all I care about at this point. The phone works, etc. I'm not taking that phone out of this house until I have a screen protector and the OtterBox Defender case around it. I won't get any other case for that phone, and a glass screen protector, because those work really well. I've been having really good luck with those on this Pixel 5. I've dropped the phone twice to where it shattered the glass screen protector, the tempered glass stick-on screen protector. You don't even notice that you're using a screen protector with these tempered glass screen protectors. And if you drop your phone it will prevent your screen from getting shattered, except for like an extreme drop. I've had it happen twice on this phone since I've owned it, and all I had to do is peel off the old one, slap a new one on, we're good to go. So I'm very particular about protecting a phone because I'm likely to drop it. I'm very likely to drop it. I have the insurance. I have, all that stuff. It's not when, it's not if I'm going to drop my phone. It's when. When am I going to drop it? It's happening. It's going to happen within a week of owning it, probably. And it's going to land face down on the glass. I'm telling you, it's absolutely going to happen. So anyway, phone works, everything. I can log into the account. I'm like, all right, I'll take a breather. Now I've got to call this bank about that letter that I got last weekend. I have until August 23rd. It's the 12th. Saying that if you don't claim these funds by the 23rd, you're going to lose them. And I'm like, well, I got plenty of time, but I want to do it today. So I did it. I was totally polite. I'm like, hello, I'm calling about this. I went through the voicemail hell. It was hard to get through to somebody, but I actually found the plastic card that was associated with this unemployment account. And so I had everything I needed to get past the phone gauntlet that doesn't let you speak to a human. And so I got through to a human. And so I explained, I said, I received this letter. I didn't know I had this account. I didn't know there was money in it, rather. I found the old card. I want to claim the funds. It says right here that I can request a check. And I just said, look, I moved. I recently moved, and I never knew that this came until someone forwarded my mail to me. And so the guy was like, well, what's your new address? And then he takes my address, and then he says, you have to call back in 5 days because we need to verify this address in our system. And I'm like, okay, well, does the fact that I called today to claim these funds mean that, does that mark my account that you were able to make contact so I don't lose the funds? Because now you're telling me I got to call back in 5 days. That's August 20th. Business days, by the way. And so if I call on the 20th and you give me another hoop to jump through that's going to take 5 to 10 days, then what happens? Do I lose the money? And he starts yelling at me. Like, he started yelling at me, like screaming and yelling at me. And so we went back and forth, and I was like, all right, I'm going to play this game. And so I got even more polite because I was like ready to scream at him. But I'm like, he might be trying to have a reason to hang up on me. All he's got to do is get me to swear or yell at him. And so I'm like, I'm not doing this. So I kept my cool. And we talked, and he kept yelling at me. And I said, okay, sir, I would like to speak to your supervisor because I don't understand why you're yelling at me. And I'm just, I've got over $8,000 in this account that I don't want to lose. I'm holding this letter in my hand. I verified who I am with all of your questions that you asked me. And you're yelling at me about this, and I don't think that's right. And he goes, and he was like more than happy to get rid of me. Passed me on to another customer service representative. It was an angry black woman, and she was basically treating me like a piece of trash who was in line at the DMV or something like that, just rude and obnoxious, telling me, well, you had enough time to figure this out. It's not our fault. And I'm like, I have until August 23rd, and today is August 12th. And I would just like to find out why I can't have a check sent to me. And then they're telling me, oh, you need to wait 5 days for okay, fine. I call on August 20th. Then what happens? We'll send you a replacement card. I'm like, well, you're going to send me a replacement card. You're telling me it takes 7 to 10 days to arrive. In those 7 to 10 days, do I lose the funds? And she said, yeah. So like, if you don't claim them in that time, you lose them. And I'm like, so you're just trying to stall me so that I can't claim the funds? And so this was, I mean, this is just absurd. It was absolutely absurd. And so they kept telling me. So anyway, I got some sort of assurance that when they verify my address that I can call back and they will send me a paper check, because I want a check in the mail. That way it's a check and it's sent to me. And I don't have to wait for a card and then activate the card and then go to a website. And no, I want a check. I want the money in a check, go deposit it at the bank and be done with it at this point. And so it shouldn't. And so I'm like, so then I hung up because we were done talking. And then I came up with that. I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't I just had them sent the check to my address in Pennsylvania? Because the person who lives at that address was the one that sent me this letter in the first place. And I could just say, hey, there's a check coming in the mail. Can you forward it to me? And I'll do something nice for you. I'll send you an Amazon gift card or something. I don't know, like just something nice to say thank you. But anyway, I call back their 1-800 number again, go through the process. I get on with somebody. The next woman that I talked to was very friendly. And she said that when I call back on the 20th, they won't have any problem sending me a check and this, that, and the other thing. She was very polite and just very friendly. And it was like a better phone call. And she answered all my questions. And she said, because I changed my address with them today, that I can't go back to the old one and have the check sent there. That's what I should have done in the first place, but I didn't know any better. I didn't think it would be, I didn't think they would put me through this rigmarole. And so now I've just got a response back from this bank's Twitter account with a direct message saying that they're going to look into, I got to respond to them and I'll get a personalized call back from somebody that can fix the situation. So, but either way, I was just like dumbfounded by how rude these people were. At least the one that I blew up at the other day with FedEx, because I was fed up with FedEx and I wasn't getting any answers. And, I knew I just needed to chill the fuck out and be patient because they would just deliver it when I'm here today. But I've had so many bad experiences, like so many. It would take me an hour to tell you all the horror stories of having, I will never, ever, 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 I personally will never use FedEx for anything, ever, ever. I'll use the post office. And if I can't use the post office, I'll use UPS. I'll go to the UPS store. I've done this before. I had to send a laptop to somebody. Went to the UPS store, gave them the address I had to send the laptop to. Here's the laptop. They'll pack it. They will put it in a box, and they will do all the work. All I had to do was go, hand them the laptop, pay the bill, walk out the door, got a tracking number, all good. If I put the thing in the box and want to go wait in line at the post office or whatever you do, then I'll do that. FedEx, never. I will never, ever, 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 ever use FedEx. Ever. Never. And I've made, that's been for years. I mean, you're going on 10 plus years that I will not do. I will not ship anything, send anything. I will never use FedEx ever, ever. Hate that company. They screw up every single time I've ever used FedEx. They screw it up. And the problem is sometimes you order something from Amazon, or in this case, you order a phone from Verizon, or you order something and you don't have a choice how it gets shipped to you, and you find out, here's your FedEx tracking number. Oh, If it's the post office, if it's UPS, if it's some fly-by-night China shipper, the China shipping company that shipped my washing machine was outrageously good. Like, the tracking number didn't bring up good information because their systems were crap, but that washing machine, that was supposed to be like 10 days after the day I ordered it. My washing machine broke on Friday. I got the refund on Saturday. I ordered the new one on Sunday. The damn washing machine was in my hands Tuesday morning. It didn't even skip a beat. Like, I didn't miss laundry day. I thought I was, from everything that I got from Amazon and whatever, it was supposed to be like 10 days. You'll get it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll skip laundry for a week. I'll just do my laundry when it comes in. I never skipped a beat. And this was like some 2-bit China shipping company, not any of the ones that you're used to. It wasn't Amazon, FedEx, UPS, Postal Service, none of that. It was just, I don't even know what it was. It was here fast. FedEx would have been a nightmare. So, but this bank, I'm about to reply to this person from this bank that got back to me. And I definitely need to double, triple, quadruple check that it's a legit, I'm not going to give them all my information. But it looks, it definitely looks legit. Their Twitter account. But you got to be super, super careful these days when you do stuff like this. I can give them enough information when I reply so they can know who I am without enough information that somebody could do something to me. That's what I'll do. But it's crazy the amount of insane amounts of hassle that customer service puts people through these days because they just don't want to deal with customers anymore. And now on the flip side, I'm going to call out 3 companies that had stellar, outrageously good customer support, and that is the reason why I will keep buying stuff from them. A big reason why I will be loyal to these brands. Number 1, Amazon. I use Amazon to get my deliveries. I order, even if something's a little more expensive on Amazon, I'm not going to go to like Temu or none of them. I'm going to Amazon. I don't trust other companies. I go to Walmart once in a while because I got the online grocery shopping down, and hell, Friday they screwed up my online grocery order and I had to go through customer service. Speaking of customer service hell, I tried to call the Walmart store. Thought this would be, I wasn't even that mad. I was a little upset, but it didn't hurt me. But I know that they forgot to deliver one of my chickens, my rotisserie chickens, and they charged me for it, so I got to take care of this. I have to call them, let them know. I figure 5 minutes, be done, no big deal. They'll either refund me or send another chicken, whatever, it doesn't matter. I call their store. Once again, they make it 100% impossible to talk to a human being. I had to call the store number 5 times before I figured out the right combination of things to say so that a human being would answer the phone. As soon as you get a human being answer the phone, you can get what you need done pretty quick if they have the power to do it. It's getting through this fucking nightmare of, we don't want to talk to you, you piece of shit customer. Fuck you. We don't want to be there for you. We don't want to help you. So we're going to make it impossible for you to talk to somebody. But if you figured it out, if you go through the rigmarole, if you figure out the secret code, up, down, left, right, BA, start, if you figure out the Konami code that gets you through to customer service, then we might be able to help you. But before that, no. So anyway, I was mad as fuck by the time I got to a human being at the store. But I was nice to the guy, he was nice to me, and I said, look, and I told him, I said, look, I just had to call the store like 6 times. and go through this nightmare just to be able to talk to you for 2 minutes and solve my problem. I work at a bakery. When customers have a problem, we answer the phone. They call our location, they can find it on Google Maps, and we answer the phone. Boom. We might have to tell people you got to call DoorDash because they're the ones that screwed up your order, not us. But otherwise, we're right on it. Like, that's how they don't have to be that much on it, but you got to give people an option to talk to a human being, or you're failing in customer service. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Nobody's down with this shit. Nobody agrees with the way that we're being treated by these companies. And so Amazon's a good one. The washing machine incident was more complicated than your usual Amazon issue, and they solved it for me. And it was a little bit of a hassle, but 24 hours after I had the problem, my money was refunded, in my bank account refunded, and I bought a new one, and it was in my hands on Tuesday. I wouldn't have even been here for the delivery on Monday. So and I had never skipped a beat. I was able to get my laundry done. Like, boom. Amazon's good. Garmin, this thing right here on my wrist. Garmin, I'm telling you, I got on their online chat. I had this fitness tracker. I bought it in like 2021. I was arrested in August of 2022. This thing was on my wrist when I was arrested. The FBI agent took it from me and gave it to somebody, my son and his mom. And so when I got out of prison and when I saw my son on his birthday, I was able to get this back. But it had been sitting for so long that I didn't even decide to use it. It was April of this year. So April of 2025, after buying it in 2021, 4 years after I buy it, I plug it into the charger and it starts charging, but as soon as I pull the charger out, it shuts off and the battery won't hold the charge. That's basically what it is. And so I didn't want to spend the money on a new one. And I reached out to Garmin to see if there's anything I can do troubleshooting wise that I don't know about that'll fix this problem. And the person on the online chat just says, we'll send you a new one. How's that? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? 4 years after I bought it, it has a 1-year warranty when you buy it, and you're just going to send me a new one? And they gave me 2 options. They said, you can give us a credit card number and we'll send the new one out right now. And then we'll bill your credit card if you don't send the old one back. Or I'll email you a mailing label. You can print that out, put it on a box, send it back to us. When we get it, we'll send you a new one out after we receive it. So I chose option 2 because it was free and it wasn't going to be, all I had to do was go to a UPS store and hand them the package. I didn't have to pay to ship it back to them. They paid the shipping. So I figured that's easy. I'm not in a hurry. So I get my new wrist tracker in the mail. Basically, I think it took 7 days total from when I first reached out to them. They backed up a product and replaced it 4 years after I bought it, 3 years after the warranty expired with no questions asked. You got me. Garmin. All my shit's gonna be Garmin from now on when it comes to this stuff. I want to get a smart scale one of these days. I'm not in a big hurry. I've got a scale, so big deal. I would like to have one of the ones that does all the body fat and all that. Garmin. It'll work with the Garmin app. It'll synchronize with all my stuff. Garmin. I'm going to get, if I ever buy a bicycle computer, a nice one, Garmin. If I ever get another GPS watch, a smart watch, Garmin. That's all I'm going to buy because I know they'll back it. Until they tell me otherwise, they're the company. They're my company. That's it. I'm not getting an Apple Watch. I'm not getting I don't like smart watches. I don't want a watch that's going to buzz at me every time I get a text message or a phone call or anything like that. I just want to be able to synchronize my fitness stuff with an app. That's all I want. The higher end Garmin watches have GPS built into them and other functions, and the top of the line Fenix watches have solar charging. So as long as you're wearing it outside an hour a week or just wearing it, the battery will never die. Just like my homeless watch that I had that I would show you guys, the G-Shock Casio watch. I'd wear that, but it doesn't have the kind of functionality that a tracker has. And I'm trying to track my fitness and my calories and calories burned and stress and sleep and all that stuff. I'm not obsessed with it, but I'm finding this stuff to be very useful as I'm trying to get a little bit better with my health. And so Garmin, they were like, yeah, send you a new one, no problem. Giro, another company. My bicycle shoes are kind of flaking out a little bit. They're less than a year old, but they've got close to 4,000 miles of cycling on them. They're mountain bike shoes. I've never worn them on a mountain bike, and when I took the photos, it was obvious that I've never been mountain biking with them, that I use them for road cycling. But mountain bike shoes make it so that you can walk around when you're not on the bike. The cleats are recessed into the shoe so that when you get off the bike, you can walk somewhat normal. They're not 100% like a normal shoe, but I can go walk around a grocery store. I can walk around Target. I can walk to and fro without slipping and sliding and being all duck foot. And road bicycle shoes are extremely difficult to walk around in. And you don't want to walk around in them because you'll wear out the cleats, because the cleats are outside the shoe and they're huge. And there's a lot of advantages on a bicycle to that. But anyway, I have mountain bike shoes and they were starting to prematurely wear out in certain areas. And I had read a couple of comments from people that said that's a hard company to deal with. And I had some other things, but there's still life left in these shoes. But I thought they have a 1-year warranty. So why not reach out to the company with some photos of my shoes? But the problem is I got a receipt from a bike shop that was just a credit card receipt with nothing on it. It just says the total amount I spent at the bike shop that day. And it doesn't say, it's no itemization. So there's no way to prove that I bought these shoes on that day. But I figured, why not reach out to their email address that they had on their website? That's what they said to do. And so I just took an image of the receipt and a couple of photos of the shoes. And I just said, look, I would go back to the bike shop where I bought these. It's not that far away, but it would be a bit of a hassle for me to do that. I said, this is where I bought it. This is the day, but this is the only receipt I have. This is all they give you. Like, they would recognize me when I go in there. I just explained it. They sent me an email back I'm telling you, it was 5 minutes after I sent that email. I got an email back saying, what size shoe do you wear and what exact shoes were they? Because there's a couple different versions of this shoe with different lacing systems. Some have Velcro straps and some have the twist knob. And the twist knob costs more, but they look they're the same shoe. And my photo didn't show that. And so I reached back out with the shoe size, my address, and that they were the twist knob ones. And I said, I can send you a photo if you need to, but these are the ones that I had. And the guy emails me back 10 minutes later, says, we have them in stock. We just sent you a new pair. Thanks for reaching out. You'll get a tracking number in the mail shortly. He said allow 7 to 10 business, or he said allows 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. Like an hour later, I had a tracking number from one of the good shippers, probably UPS or Postal Service. I don't know. It wasn't FedEx, I don't think. Maybe it was. I don't know. Whatever. I had a tracking number. I don't know if this is the package that FedEx left in the ditch or not. FedEx left a package like straight up in the ditch in front of the house. And but I don't know if that was this package or not. If it was my shoes or if it was something else that they sent. I can't remember that specifically, but the package was that I had my new shoes. I sent this email out on a Friday afternoon. I had the new shoes when I came home from the bakery on Monday. All from sending one email with a photo of here's how my shoes are wearing out prematurely, and here's my receipt and an explanation of everything. 2 days later, 3 days later, I have brand new pair of shoes, and these are like $200 cycling shoes. Nope. Gotcha. Send them. And I'm like, man, that is good. Like I'm like, yeah, I like the shoes. I will definitely buy another. Like if I need a helmet, I don't like my helmet. I bought the cheapest helmet I could get my hands on because I needed to buy so many things the day I went to the bike shop, that the helmet that I wear, it's a little bit too wobbly side to side. It doesn't fit me as precisely as I would like a helmet to fit me. And but I've been putting that off because it's not like it's more of a want than a need. And I'll buy a new helmet from them if it fits right. I mean, if I'm going to go to that's not something I trust Amazon for. I mean, maybe if I can measure the circumference of my head and kind of get an idea of like if they have a good sizing calculator. I know you can send stuff back too. Like if I bought a helmet on Amazon and it doesn't fit, I can take it right back to Whole Foods and just drop it off and say, give me a refund, and they'll drop that refund on you quick. So they're really good about that stuff. But yeah, Amazon, Garmin, Giro, there are other companies out there that have phenomenal customer service. And so I should probably just make a list and go through and talk about what the difference is between poor customer service and good customer service. But when it comes to cell phones, AT&T sucks balls, T-Mobile sucks ass, Verizon sucks donkey dick. They're all terrible. They're terrible. All three of them are bad. The only thing I could see coming out that might compete with all of this is if Elon Musk gets Starlink to the point where they can provide what essentially is cell phone service worldwide from a satellite, and it's just as fast and reliable as a T-Mobile, Verizon, or an AT&T phone. They're done. They're done. That company Starlink will grow so exponentially fast that they won't be able to keep up with the new orders because people are so sick and tired of these three garbage phone companies. And it's like, I know people who have been like, I'm so sick of AT&T, I'm going to Verizon. I'm so sick of Verizon, I'm going to AT&T, and you end up with the same shit from a different company. T-Mobile's been horrible. The only thing I can say positive about T-Mobile since I moved into this place, I think the cell phone tower is like right out there. I think I can see it out the window, the one that it's connecting to, and I get almost full bars. And the signal strength has been solid. It hasn't crapped out. It has been steady while I do I've had the online live stream every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That live stream has held its own except for like one hiccup. And I don't know if it was even T-Mobile's fault that it went down and I had to reconnect to the stream. It could have been Google's fault. It could have been somebody else's fault. But at the end of the day, that's the only positive thing I can say about T-Mobile. Everything that you want to do with them is a hassle. If you have to call them, if you have to get customer service from them, it's an absolute nightmare. It's a nightmare. I'm at the point where I really don't need it right now because I'm settled in here. My bill gets paid every month automatically. I can log into the account without any issues generally, and I'm like, okay, fine, I don't want to talk to them ever again. If I get around to the point of getting a cable connection or a fiber optic connection here at the house, which I'm not really, that's a want more than a need right now because this is working good enough. Where I lived in the tool shed, it didn't work. It was so bad. It was very, very, very bad service. Here, from day one, it was good. So, but it's a lot less populated where I live, and I'm far away from the major highway, and I think that the tower I was connecting to is right next to the major Interstate 45, and when you've got hundreds of thousands of people driving past a cell phone tower, connecting and disconnecting and connecting and disconnecting all day and night, and your thing at home is connected to that same tower, whenever that tower glitches out, which is probably frequently being right next to a major interstate, you are going to have problems at your home because of that. Whereas the tower that I'm connecting to now is like out in the middle of a field in the middle of nothing. Like there's literally nothing but woods around it, if it's what I'm thinking of. And so it serves this neighborhood, and so it has a more steady rhythm coming and going of what's connected and disconnected, and it's not, it's not like 70,000 cars per hour just flying by, connect, disconnect, and that's a whole different ball game when you have that much traffic just pinging and popping all day long and night. It's going to have stability issues. And so, I don't know, even just talking about it for the last hour or so has been therapeutic for me with you guys. But I was hoping that today I could sit back and be expecting a check in the mail. Like an unexpected check, which is enough for me to buy a car. I was really hoping that would just be, okay, we'll send you a check. I was thinking the worst case scenario, I might have to send them a copy of my driver's license or some proof of who I am. I don't even need to do that according to them. But I think they're just kind of kicking the can down the road and stalling on me so that I lose my funds. But with that, I'll keep you updated as things go on. But it's not going to be until August 20th that I find out anything unless this guy on Twitter can help me out. Anyway, I'm going to let you go with that. Peace out.